I've got a Toolkit M6D. This is the AC version, so this can be powered by DC or AC power. And for some odd reason, the scroll wheel today decided to be flaky, and it's downright flaky. I basically can't run the menus around by rolling the wheel. The push button works. You can push this in, and while you're pushing it in, you can possibly get the menu to move around with the wheel, but it's very difficult and it's unusable. I just can't get the wheel. So doing a quick search, everybody recommends blowing compressed air through the wheel. I tried that. That did not work. And then they said because it's vented here, it's probably getting some dirt from the vent. And I guess the light's a little poor here. So there's the vent. And so I blew compressed air through the vent. Same problem. It's just not working. So I'm going to take it apart today and doing a quick look over on it. I don't see any screws, so I suspect they are under the rubber feet. I've had this on a few other products now where they hide the screws. So let's take a foot off and see. And sure enough, there we go. There's some screws inside the feet. So we'll take the rubber things off. I'm just going to put them on the bottom of the case so I don't lose them. And I'll also see if I can adjust this light a little bit better, because it's black, obviously the camera has a hard time adjusting for that. I'm really surprised the wheel is already acting up. This thing is not that old. I don't think it's more than 2 years old. I don't use it a lot. And let's see what's in there if I can see it. It's a Phillips head screwdriver, but the problem is it's very deep into the casing, so I don't think one of these drivers, no, it's not going to reach it. So I'm going to have to get a traditional Phillips head. I've got a little junky one here. We can try that. Okay, that reaches the screw, but the handle on this thing is so tiny. Yeah, I'm going to have to probably get a better. Alright, so since this little screwdriver doesn't have much of a handle on it, I can't get those screws out. They're torqued down, so I've got some traditional Phillips screws here, screwdrivers with a handle on them, and the screw comes out a lot easier now. But although it's a tight fit in there, they really torqued them in good. And it's a plastic thread too, so you want to be careful that you don't over tighten them when we put it back together. Yeah, I really like this charger. I've got two of them. Actually, I have three of them. One is DC only. I leave that one in the car. So when I'm at the field, I can charge. Okay, so I've got all four screws out. I'm going to unplug the balance extenders. And okay, so the top lid comes off, and it's definitely connected to something, so we just can't easily pull it off. It's probably the LCD display. And there's a ribbon in there. I'll see if I can show that, if the light will pick that up. Let me get a flashlight. And you can see there's some stuff in there. So we'll have to figure out how to disconnect that. Alright, it won't go backwards or forwards very far. So all you can do is tilt it forward, and now I can show you what it looks like in there a little bit. We're going to have to disconnect that flat ribbon, that gold colored thing, and the black cable goes to that scroll wheel, and the scroll wheel is what's giving me the issue. So let's see what it's going to take to disconnect that flat ribbon first, because that's the sensitive one for sure. Okay, so to pop one of these ribbons out, that little black tongue in there, you have to push that up. You don't try to pull the black tongue out. You push the black tongue up, pull it up, and that will release the ribbon so it'll slide out from that connector. So getting a blade underneath it, just like that, you pop it up, and as you can see then the ribbon comes out. Now the black cable is really easy. There's a white connector in there, and we're just going to pull that out, and there we go. So now we've got this disconnected, and now we've got the wheel. So we can look at this. I'm going to soak it in some alcohol, rubbing alcohol. I'm going to try that first. I'm going to blow it better now that I can get to the component. If not, this wheel looks like a standard kind of a part. It's probably something you can buy. It's even got a part number on it. But although the part number is related to the company M6D, so it's not a generic part. But I suspect the wheel might be generic. We'll have to see. I am going to take the wheel off the housing because I don't want to get the alcohol near the display. So there's four Phillips screws here that hold this wheel in place. And it's odd, the screws, just so you know, they're at an angle. So they're going, the way I'm holding this right now, they're leaning to the right. So don't hold the screwdriver straight up and down, hold it at an angle this way. Otherwise you're not going to get a good grab on those Phillips heads. Alright, so now we've got the part out. Alright, looking at this part, the overall circuit board is made by Toolkit. So you can't buy this generically. Maybe Toolkit sells the whole board, but you don't really need the whole board. I looked at this, and it's pretty interesting how this works. It's pretty simple. There's a switch on this side. There's a little micro switch on the right side, and that axle, when you press down on the wheel, I don't know if the camera picks up the clicking, but you know, it's closing the contact. So that's the push function of the wheel. And when you spin this wheel is just metal. It doesn't have any electronics in it. The electronical piece or electrical piece is this brown piece here. If you flip this over, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 contacts. So that's not a potentiometer. I suspect it's just a multi-position switch, and it just rotates the switch around in there because there's a flat spot. We can get this out. See, there's flat spots on that shaft, and it just goes into the flats on that contact here, and it's just probably opening and closing switches as you turn it, and then the software can read that. So there's no part number on that brown thing that I can see, although I'm going to get a magnifying glass on it later and see if I can pick something up, because that would be easy to desolder and put a new one in. So I took this over to the sink and I doused it in rubbing alcohol while turning this thing in there, hoping to clean it out. So I'm going to put this back together and we'll see if that fixes the problem. I got some close-up pictures of that component, and it turns out it's a microencoder roller switch. I could not find that exact model, the FSWQ, and there's a 23 on the bottom of it, but at least we know what it is. It is a micro switch, and there's a bunch of them out there, but finding that exact one, I was not able to locate it. Alright, I didn't screw it all back together yet, so this has gone loose, and check this out. It's working perfectly. So that's all it was. Just needed to clean that wheel up, or that switch up, with some rubbing alcohol, and the inner key works. Everything's good. When you put this back together, I didn't film that part, the little black wires that go to the scroll wheel, make sure you look at that white connector that the pins are going upward. The pins are not centered in that white housing. So how you know it goes up or down is the pins go up. So look at it closely so you make sure you plug that in right, because otherwise you'll smash those pins up. Getting the ribbon cable back in was very easy. That was not hard at all. You just push it in and push that black tab. You fold it back down over the ribbon. The little white connector with the black wires on it, that was tricky getting that back in, again, because the wires are a tad too short, so there wasn't a lot of ways to work with it. But I'm thrilled. I got this working, so I don't have to spend any money buying a new charger.